Well, welcome to Sunday, 10th of October. I've just got back from Aldi and I want to sort my tea out, even though it's only, what time is it now? About 2 o'clock. But I'm not going to have it till later. But I just thought I'd share a couple of things with you. What I do in the way of meals, etc. And just how cost effective it is, to cook as against buying these ready prepared meals or have takeaways. And I'm going to try something different for my tea tonight. So I'm going to spin you down so you can have a look. And then I'll not bother putting it back to me because you don't need to look at me. So I'm going to drop you down here, look. There you go. I think you can see all right there. I don't know if this camera's level or not. Try and keep it level. What I'm going to do tonight for my tea, which is completely new to me. This is not pork chops, isn't new to me, obviously. But I bought these today from Aldi, as I say, and you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for £3.43. Now, if they'd put 6 in, that'd have made me 3 meals. But because I've only put 5 in, I'm going to make that just 2 meals. So, 2 meals, £1.70 for your meat. It's for nothing. Even with veg and putting potatoes or chips with peas or whatever, you're not going to spend £2.50 on a dinner. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to take 3 of these out. That's the 3 I'm going to have. I'm going to have 3 for my tea. Doesn't that look greedy? But I don't care, because I can. So these 2, I'm going to pop these in a bag. And these can go in the freezer. And these will most likely just be normal, what I call a normal roast pan fried pork chop in the week, or maybe next week. Let's get rid of that rubbish. So what we're going to do, we're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to just gently score. This knife is a lovely sharp knife, and if you don't know how to sharpen a knife, go back in my vlogs pre-Christmas this last year and I'll show you. You don't have to put any pressure on your blade. We just put a few lines in, and again both directions, not enough to cut into the meat as such, and then pop it in a bowl. I'm going to do that with all 3. Doesn't take much doing, but do have a sharp knife. Don't mess about trying to do any of this sort of thing with what I call a blunt knife. There's no point. Just let the weight of the knife, that's all you need, just to go into the surface of the pork chop. Put in the bowl. Oh, I'll sleep after I've eaten this today. I was going to have these with some chips, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to have some new potatoes and peas. Nothing too fancy, but it will be, I'm hoping, an absolutely gorgeous tea to have. And I love the fact that it's so cost effective. I'm not because I'm trying to be mean or anything like that, but you don't need to spend a fortune on these pre-prepared meals for something that just takes a few minutes. So I'm just going to quickly wash my hands and then I'll come back to you. Right, I'm back. Now, you may have watched the vlog, hopefully you have, and I did steak in Coca-Cola. And like I keep saying, experiment with food. Don't be frightened, have a go. Now, the steak, when I did it, I scored it the same as I've done these chops, but then I rubbed herbs into it. I'm not going to do that so much with these. I'm going to soak them for a couple of hours in Coca-Cola, and I'll turn them occasionally. I bought 2 cans, but I only need 1, I think. I've put the other in the fridge to drink later. And I'm just going to leave them on the side at room temperature for about half an hour. Then I'll turn them around and give them another half hour. And then what I'm going to do, before I actually pan fry these, I will drain them, but I'm not going to dry them. I'm just going to drain them, and then I'm going to put the herbs and spices and the seasoning, shall I say, onto the chops before I actually cook them. But yeah, I just thought, because it's something different I've never tried before, I'm going to share this with you. So that's going to be my tea for tonight. Look at this for a bargain. Look at this for a bargain. Chicken wings. How many times do people walk past the counters where the meats are and just disregard chicken wings? And there's so much you can do with them. These, what I'm going to do, when the chops have come out of this bowl, I'm going to, I know it sounds like I'm being a pig, but this will be a dinner for me. Okay, it's what I call a lazy dinner. And tomorrow night, because I'm at work, it's going to be a lazy dinner. So what I'm going to do, when the pork chops have marinated, I'm going to wash the bowl, dry the bowl. I'm going to put these chicken wings in, all of them, drop of oil, quite an assortment of herbs, which I'm then, and seasoning. I'm going to massage these around a bit, cover it in cling film, pop it in the fridge. When I come home from work tomorrow, all I've got to do is scatter them into a roasting tray, put them in the oven, and I'll see how I feel. I may have them with chips. I may just have them as they are. I may have them just with some bread and butter. I don't really know. But I do know one thing. At £1.40, there's a kilo of chicken. And yes, I know, yes, there's bones in there. But I just love chicken wings when you've roasted them. I could just sit and eat a plate just watching telly. You know what I mean? I could let them go cold and just sit and eat a plate while I'm watching telly. But what a bargain price. And how many times have you walked past chicken wings and never even given them a second thought? So, yeah, we're going to let the pork chops do what they need to do. And then I'm going to slightly oil these, put the seasonings and herbs on, and as I say, cling film them. And if I remember tomorrow when I come in from work, once I've cooked them, I'll just show a quick video of the end result. I'm not going to show you in prepping, because this isn't all about the cooking this week. But I just wanted to share. This one is the pork chops, because I haven't got a clue how they're going to come out. But we'll see. But these, I just thought, you know, anybody who wants a quick, easy, and really cheap dinner, you know, £1.40, you just can't go wrong, can you? There must be, I don't know, 14 or 15 chicken wings in there. And if that don't make a dinner for you, I don't know what does. I'll show you these tomorrow. Come back to you later and show you the pork chops going in the pan. Talk to you in a bit. Right, these have had a couple of hours. So we're just going to, I'm going to put them on a baking tray for now, just so you can see what I'm actually on with. If I was only having a couple, I'd do it on a plate. It does look a lot of meat though, doesn't it, for one person? Not to worry. Not to worry, I'm sure I'll eat it. So that's a chance to soak into the meat. And now it's just a case of play with it. Just play with it. So we're just going to give it a little bit of salt. Don't go crazy, because you can add salt, but remember, taking it away would be a major issue. Pepper. We're not going to over season, as in all in one hit, because there's quite a variety of things I'm going to add to this. Now, that's barbecue supreme. So we're going to give that a bit of a whirl. Again, turn them over. This is just things I've got in the cupboard. And that's what we're about, experimenting. Now this, I bought this from, well, where did I buy it from? The range, I think. It's white onion, tomato powder, minced garlic, crushed chilli. All different for the same pot. So again, let's give it a whirl. Now this is a bit that might surprise you. Teriyaki sauce. And honey. There we go. Just move down because I don't need it at the moment. Now we're working this into them cut lines that we put in earlier. And now we're going to turn them over. Just work it into both sides. And there you go. That's it. Simple as that. Now, time to get them cooked. I'm going to use this wok pan to fry these. Pan fry them, because there's 3 of them. I need the surface area. If you was to put all these into a smaller pan, then obviously the problem is that they start to literally boil, not fry off. And I want to be able to put a lid on these, so my wok is the obvious choice. I haven't put any fat in the pan. They're just going to cook in their own natural juices. So we'll give them a few minutes and then we'll turn them. And already it's starting to smell absolutely lovely. Not sure what they're going to taste like, but as I say, this is a new one for me too. So we're going to give them about 3 to 4 minutes per side. Steady cook with the lid on, and that will just keep the moisture in, and that's why I've chosen my bigger pan, just so it can actually encompass all them flavours and it'll get in amongst them little grooves that we've cut in the meat. Come back to you in a minute when it's had a few minutes on the ring. Right, these are at about 2 minutes on that side. We're getting a bit of colour in there, look. Just turn them over. No messing with them, just turn them, leave them to cook nice and steady. And again, we'll leave them for 3 or 4 minutes and then we'll see how they're doing. Right, we're just taking the lid off now, just to allow some of this liquor to evaporate, and then eventually what will happen is the heat in the pan will become higher because the liquor's gone, and the actual chops will start to brown and look more like a pan fried chop. But what we've done with the lid on is infuse the meat with all them herbs and seasoning, and obviously the Coca-Cola that's in amongst it will have caramelised. So another few minutes of boiling this off, and then we shall get some colour into these chops. Now we're getting some colour. Look at that. It's almost like a barbecue chop, you know. Yeah, it might look burnt, and it's not actually burnt, it's just caramelised. So a couple more minutes, and then we're going to turn the heat off and just let it rest. And there we have it. Might be quite a lot of it. A rustic meal, but nevertheless, I imagine it's going to be absolutely flipping gorgeous. So we've got pan-fried pork chops in honey, teriyaki sauce, herbs, spices and seasoning. It's been marinated in Coca-Cola. Let's see how it tastes. Oh my God. Oh. Honestly, it's a bit like a barbecued pork chop, but it's absolutely oozing with moisture and flavour. It is, pardon me for speaking with my mouth full, bloody lovely. So give it a try. Don't be frightened to experiment. Give it a try, you'll love it. Good afternoon, it's Monday the 11th of October and it's just gone 5 o'clock, well 12 minutes past 5. I've just got in from work. I've given Misty her dinner and I've now brought the chicken out of the fridge, oven's on, and I'll just show you. I'm going to spin you down here, look. And that's the chicken wings that's been marinating overnight in oil and a variety of different seasonings. So what I've got to do, pop it in the tray and then just give it a separate them out, because you don't want them on top of each other, because what happens then is they steam, become very, instead of being nice and crispy, they become all wet and soggy. So I don't know how many there is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 12. So about 20 pence a piece. I'm going to put these into a hot oven, just under an hour. I'll show you when they're done, and that's my tea. And I'm looking forward to these. I can't be bothered to be doing veggies and potato. I'm just going to have some hot chicken wings, and I think they'll go down a treat. I'll show you when they're done. And here we go. Packed full of goodness. No artificial additives, just seasoning, herbs, a little bit of olive oil. And whether you have these just as a snack while you're watching telly, or as in my case, I'm going to have these for my tea. I know there's looks a lot, but don't forget a lot of this is just, obviously it's just bone. But absolute cracking snack, £1.40. You can't go wrong, can you? Now somebody's not having a good day. I can't see from here whether that's I'm guessing it could be a police helicopter, because it's just hovering above, just outside the perimeters of the marina bit, looks of it. Or it might be air ambulance waiting to land. But whatever it is, hopefully we'll get the person sorted one way or other. Never a good sign when there's one of these hovering about. Let me just apologise if you can hear a noise in the background. It's because I'm doing my laundry. Since I've learned how to use this washing machine on Freedom, everything has to get washed. Regular, very regular. Now, one of the most regular asked questions when I tell somebody that I live on a boat, and I'm sure all boaters have had this, is, isn't it cold in the winter? Second is, how do you keep it warm? And is it expensive? So the answer is, in that order, is it cold in the winter? Absolutely not. Freedom is a very well insulated boat for starters, so that's an advantage. Not all boats are so well insulated, but she definitely is. In the summer when it's red hot outside, I walk into the boat and it's lovely and cool. And in the winter when it's freezing and frosty outside, when I step onto the boat, it's cosy warm. Now, I lit my Morso squirrel stove last week, and it'll now stay on, with the exception of the last day of every month when I let it go out just so I can clean the chimney. It will stay on through to April, May. The second question that they ask is, once I've asked you, is it expensive? Well, no, I don't think it is. And I'm going to show you in this vlog how I heat Freedom 24 hours a day for less than 11p an hour. And that's the whole 57 12-foot boat. And if anything, really, to be honest with you, I overheat it. She's hotter than she ought to be. I'm trying to teach myself to keep the temperatures down, because 27, 28 degrees is not unusual on this boat. And it's not because I'm banking the fire up, it's because, as I said, she's so well insulated. And it's definitely not a cold experience living on a boat in the winter. If you follow a few simple rules, it's not expensive either. There's a lot of train of thought when it comes to different fuels, different stoves. And when I first started looking at boats, I was looking on the vlogs and on the forums, and I kept seeing these comments that my Morso squirrel burns this fuel, and somebody else will put, well, my Morso squirrel doesn't like that fuel. And I'm thinking, how the heck does that work? It's the same flipping stove. So how does it know? And when I bought Freedom, for the first couple of weeks, I had major issues. She's got a back boiler in the Morso squirrel, and which heats water. And I was fighting with it. One moment it was scorching hot, next minute it wasn't hot. And a very good friend of mine up in Rotherham, who's been on boats for 30 years, says to me, he says, you'll get there. He says, but it'll take you a year to learn how to use your stove. And me being me, I'm thinking, it's just a stove, wood, coal, firelighter, get it sorted. And, he's right. It has took, well, I've been on Freedom nearly, what is it now, 18 months, coming on for 19 months. And I've now got my boat stove, Morso squirrel, sussed. So I'm going to tell you how I do it. This is not a lecture on how you should do it, and this is just to show how I can heat this boat to a temperature where in the middle of winter I can sit in here in just a t-shirt thinking, I need to take the porthole glasses out, I need to open the stern doors, I need to open the bow doors, because it's too warm. Now, when I first moved on, I looked at all the different fuels that there was in the marketplace, and smokeless fuel as we have to be because we're in a controlled area, and it varied in price from, going back then, it was something like from £7.95 up to about £12. And the dearest I came across was one called XL. And I just thought, I ain't paying that, I'm not a Yorkshireman, and no disrespect to Yorkshiremen, but you're known to be a bit tight with your money. I'm not a Yorkshireman, but I do like value for money. So, like most people, I started with the cheapest coal, and it all seemed to be fine. What I wasn't realising to start with, because it's all new, is I was burning a heck of a lot of it, and I was filling my ash pan full of clinker and ash, a heck of a lot. And last year I found a local coal yard, and I inquired from them how much XL, which comes in a 25 kilo bag, was, and it was £12. So I decided I'd give it a month. I'd just buy enough to do a month and see how cost effective it was going to be. And I was very impressed with it. You don't get any clinker, you do get ash, but not a lot. It burns seriously hot, and it all burns. You're not left with a load of, as I say, clinker in the bottom of your stove. If you can hear the spin dryer, at least you know I'm working as well as doing this vlog. And so this year, knowing that all this has been going off with fuel, gas prices going up, electric prices going up, I phoned the coal yard and they informed me that XL's gone up £1.50 a bag. So that's now making it from the local coal yard £13.50. I looked on Midland Chandler's site, and to buy the same bag here at the Marina, so I haven't got to travel for it, was £13.56. But if you buy 4 bags or more, you get 10% off. So the 25 kilo bag that was costing me £12 last year from the merchants, coal merchants, is now costing me £12.20 from the chandlery. So I've ordered and paid for half a ton. I've got 10 bags on the boat. That's one of the joys of having a wide beam, and the other 10 I've stored. Rest of the half ton is stored at work, which is 14 bags. So you get 20. I've got 24 bags, something like that. Yeah, I bought 24 bags. It's just over half a ton. So I've decided I want to know, how much does it cost me to keep this boat as cosy warm as I've got it. As I say, I've got a back boiler that runs radiators, but to be fair, they're not like your central heating radiators at home. You know, I've always said with my back boiler, it does a job, but it doesn't do it highly efficiently, I don't think. And to put it into sort of like layman's terms, I've always said, you know, you could literally get a newborn baby. I know you wouldn't do this, but you could put a newborn baby on the radiator and it wouldn't notice you've done it. It's nice, but it's not hot, if that makes sense. What it does do, the back boiler, it keeps the water, because it takes the water from the back boiler through the radiators, through the primary coil, because I have 2 coils in my hot water tank. It feeds it through the primary coil and then brings it back into the back boiler. And in doing so, it stops the water in the water tank, or the clarifier, as they call it on a boat, going cold. So when my immersion heater does kick in, and that's on a timer, it keeps the water lovely and hot, because at the moment, being in a marina, I'm just plugged into the mains for the water heater, and that isn't expensive. It seriously isn't expensive. I worried it was going to be, but I might cover that in another vlog. So I decided, as I said, to cost what it was, you know, going to be to heat this boat up. And I once spoke to somebody, and I can't remember who it was, says, or I think it was a more so technical guy, and he said to me, remember the rule of 25. And I said, well, what's the rule of 25? He says, you put 25 pieces on in the morning and you put 25 pieces on at night, and that'll do you. And I'm thinking, well, that's not a lot when you look at it. You know, it's not a lot. I'm going to actually weigh out some coal in a minute to show you. And 25 pieces means that I use 2.5 kilos in the morning, 2.5 kilos at night. Other than that, I buy sacks of dried whitewood, not hardwood, it's just a whitewood. Burns hotter than, I think, and quicker than hardwood, but it's a heck of a lot cheaper. And again, it's not producing a massive amount of ash, and it's got no wood treatments in it, and it's got a very low moisture content. And again, I'll show you in a minute the size of the bag that I buy, and it works out, it's something like 4p a chunk, and on an average day I use 2 chunks. So let me just show you the calculations, how I've done it with the coal. Let me just show you the wood, and then we'll come back and we'll do the maths, and then it'll all make sense, hopefully. Right, this is how I've come with the calculations, so you can see exactly how I've worked it out. Here's my flatbed kitchen scales at the moment showing 0 grams. Put a dish on with a piece of paper towel in it, is 411 grams. If we hit the button, it's now deducted the weight of the dish and the piece of paper towel. So if I take that off and put an identical dish on, it's now got 6 pieces of XL in. As you can see, the 6 pieces of XL weigh 596 grams. Now they are 6 random pieces I've taken out the coal bucket. So let's say, for argument's sake, it's 600 grams, so they weigh 100 grams per piece. Now I'm using, as I've said to you earlier in this introduction, I use 25 pieces of XL in the morning and 25 pieces at night, and that together is exactly 5 kilos. And in an XL bag that I pay £12.20 for, you get 25 kilos, so that's 5 days worth, and that works out, if my maths is right, at £2.44 for XL per day for 24 hours. So I reckon that's pretty damn good. So as well as burning XL, I also buy and stock on the back of Freedom bags of dried, what I call whitewood. This hasn't got any preservatives on it, as in wood treatments. It's just decent sized chunks, as you can see from it in my hand. I've been using this bag, but I did count a bag out again just for part of this experiment, and there was I think there was 58 pieces like this in the bag, and a bag this size, which is like a potato sack, cost me £2 exactly. And so again, for argument's sake, let's just say there's only 50 in the bag. That works out at 4p per piece, and on an average day I will use 2, and that's between the hours of 7 and 10 o'clock at night, when the original morning 25 pieces of XL are getting towards the end of their burn life. I'll put 2 pieces of log on. That'll take me through the evening while I'm watching TV, and then before I go to bed I riddle the fire and I put 25 more pieces of XL on. It takes the heat through the night. So there you have it. You see, I've shown you how much the coal weighs, and that's just 6 random pieces, and I've overestimated because I know they're under 100 grams a piece, but let's just say they're 100 grams. The logs, I've said, let's say there's only 50 in a bag, but there's more like 60, but it just gives us a mean average, you know, in case a bag's got a bit more or a bit less in it on the logs. So to do the maths, what you've got is a bag of XL costing £12.20, as it does with the discount to the Midland Chandlers. I'm using 5 kilos a day, 2.5 morning, 2.5 at night. That works out on the coal at £2.44. And like I said earlier, this boat is hot. It's not warm, it is a hot boat. And if you wanted to trim that down, well, I'm sure you could. But the way I look at it, I like a hot boat. I don't like to be cold. I don't want to have to sit here with, you know, a jumper on when I don't need to. And Misty likes it when it's warm. It's not to the point where she's panting. The only time I have to put the fan on for her is when I do turn, as I said earlier, I turn the more so up, put a lot more air in, so it just burns off any impurities that's built up on the back boiler, on the face of the back boiler, where the fire actually burns underneath it. So yeah, £2.44 per day for the coal. I throw maybe 2 pieces of wood on a night. I usually wait till it's about 7 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night. Throw a couple of pieces on. that will then take that fire through till 10 o'clock at night. I then have a routine at 10 o'clock at night. I riddle the fire. I take the ash pan out and empty that into my ash pan bucket on the back of the boat. Well, I do it on the pontoon so it doesn't make any dust on the back of the boat. And then I put the lid on and bring it back into the boat. And then I put the 25 pieces on to take me through the night. And I found that if I close the air draft, which is the vent above the glass, and I close the lower draft, which is obviously the one below the glass, and then I just turn the lower one 3/4 of a turn open and the upper one 1/2 a turn open, when I get up in the morning, this boat is 23, 24 degrees. My fire is, it's maybe burnt 2/3 of the coal, and I just give it a riddle. I throw a few small pieces of kindling on, put 25 pieces on top, and leave it alone, and it does what it needs to do. So if you take the cost of the coal and the couple of bits of wood that I throw on, which about 4p a piece, give or take a penny, it's £2.52. The heat freedom, beautifully and warm all the way through the boat. There's no cold. You go in the bedroom at night to change and you don't think, oh, it's a bit nippy in here. It's lovely. It's lovely. The radiators do keep the background heat steady, but the heat from the actual stove, and the fact I've got 2 fans on the top of the stove, it's moving warm air around the boat constantly. So £2.52 for 24 hours heat is 10.5p. Now, if you can eat your house for 10.5p an hour, you'll be very happy. So, and I doubt very much if you are doing. So have a look at your gas bill and work that out yourself if you're living in a house, and just see how cost effective it is running your central heating. And then you'll see why people like me are happy living on a boat in the winter, because it's cozy. It's really cozy. So this is how I do it. I'm not saying this is how you should do it, and I'm sure there's a lot of boaters who'll do it completely different, and they will tell you that they can do this, that and the other. That's fine, that's fine, you know. And I like a wood burning stove. I like to see the coal burning and the embers glowing. I know a lot of people are moving towards diesel stoves, but I doubt if you could run a diesel stove for 10.5p per hour. I don't know what they burn in the way of literage per day, but I'm guessing if you're paying something like 70-80p a litre, I don't know what the diesel price is at the moment, you know, you've got to surely be burning 4 or 5 litres a day, I'd have thought. Maybe not. You tell me in the comments what you do. So I hope that's been of interest if you're thinking of buying a boat. Don't let the thought of having to heat a boat be, you know, putting you off, because I can assure you it's not expensive. It really isn't. Do your homework. Find a stove that you like to, whether it's diesel or whether it's coal, and learn how to use it. It's not straightforward. I honestly thought it was. I just thought, like I said earlier, you just chuck coal on, chuck wood on and let it go. But there's an art, and your stove is the heart of your boat. So get that bit right, you're going to have a warm, happy winter. Hope that's been of some use to you. Good morning and welcome to Wednesday, the 13th of October. And I've took Misty out, I've had my breakfast, I've started to clear the back of the boat because there's this niggling little job. It's not actually urgent, but it's just niggling me that I haven't sorted it. If you watched the vlog last week and you saw, was it last week or was it the week before? Time just flies. I was doing the weed hatch, and I made note of the fact that the guys who had welded the drains on the engine cover area had left their weld lines very, very proud. And obviously the consequence of that is that when the gullies fill up with water, instead of going naturally to the drain holes in the corners, the wells act as basically as a dam. Now, to be fair, the wells are lower than the size of the gullies, so the water would always eventually get over them, but I just think it's a bit stupid to have a situation where you're holding the water that's got in there in these drain channels because it can't get past the weld lines, which I'll show you in a minute. Now, my only predicament was, or is, I've been to try and get some grindstones for my DeWalt drill, and do you know, I can't justify at the moment going all the way out to B&Q for them. So I've shopped around local in my own town, nobody's got them, and I went rummaging through my toolbox and I found these. They're not big, but they'll get in where I want to go, and hopefully there'll be enough on these grindstones just to knock the wells back. Even if I only put a gully in the middle of each weld, at least the water then can naturally drain. So why do we have the drain channels where the engine cover is? It's simply because I won't always be in a marina, I won't always have this pram cover up and above us, and when I'm out cruising, there's a damn good chance that I am going to get caught in a thunderstorm, or I'm moored up somewhere and I've left the boat and the rain comes heavy. It's going to hit the deck, and some will naturally roll off the sides and some will then go or try to get into the engine bay. The gullies are there to collect that water, and they are connected then in the four corners to pipes which then let the water drain through the side of the boat. So I'm going to get these engine covers up, and I'll take the camera down and freehand film and show you the welds, and then I'll just do one, I think, and show you know how I'm doing it, and then I'll show you the end result when I've got them all sorted. Okay, so you make yourself a cup of tea, I'll get the engine covers up, and let's get these welds sorted. Now this is obviously with the engine covers removed, and let me just get down best I can. Look how crazy this is. Can you see this here? Look here. And that's because, just, you see where my finger is there, look? There's a weld there. So the water can't get from there into here. And when you're following it down from there, and the boat always is lower at the back obviously because of the weight, that's a hole there where my finger's pointing. The water is supposed to go down. Well, for a start, if you actually look at the pipe where they've put the outlet in, the welds are proud. But then look here, it's a flipping dam. What is the point of not grinding the welds back? How crazy is that? So then you end up with water sitting there, sitting in here. Now there's more on my side, I'm on the starboard side at the moment, than there is on the port side, and that's because I've got a little bit more coal at the front of the boat on the starboard side. But even here, in this gully there, look, all the way across, there's water because it can't get to the drains. So my task today is each of these welds, there's one there, there's one in that corner, there's the one I've just shown you, there's this one I've just shown you here, down here, look. And then you'll see, look at that prominent one there. It's like just building a flipping Hoover Dam. There's no way the water's ever going to get past it. So I'm going to set you up, put a grindstone on, I'm going to mop all these channels out first, and then we'll see what kind of a job we can make of it. It really annoys me to think that while they were doing this, nobody had the common sense to think, well, the water's never going to get past. So let's put it right. That's got all the water out. I've mopped it out just with a microfiber for now, and then we can get access to these very crude welds because they've actually welded underneath. So that would have sealed it, so I don't know why. In fact, looking at this one, I don't even know if I take this down, I've got a feeling this one is higher than that anyway. But at least if I clear all these, I'll just show you across, this is that one that's very prominent there, look. And then if you look underneath, you'll see there's a, well, that we can actually see where that dark shadow is the entrance to the drain that takes it to the side of the boat. And there's another one, you can just see it there, look, just there in the corner there's a slit. So they're more rectangular holes, and then at the back we've got the two, and you can see the pipe running underneath that one, look, and it goes out to the back of the side of the boat. So I'm going to set you up, get a drill bit on, and a grinding stone on, and let's give it a go. Let's get in there. Well, as I suspected, this is definitely higher than this. So what I intend to do is just take out a channel, so at least the water's got a chance of moving around till it finds the lowest point at which it can escape. So it's a bit time consuming because these aren't the ideal stones, admittedly, but so we're not trying to create a massive dip, but what we want to try and do is get it so the water can at least get past it. It's getting there. A bit more time consuming, but what else have I got to do today? Let me get in here. It's going down. Yeah, it's going now. I think that'll do, because now I'll just take that little bit off, just a little bit off there. Yeah, I'm just going to lift you up, and hopefully you can see now we've got a bevel. So I'm just going to go to Chandler and see if they've got a proper what I call round grinding wheel, and just to dip that out a little bit more, and then I can move on to the next ones. So while I'm at the Chandler, I'm going to put my batteries into charge, because I think it's going to be quite a long task getting this done, but at least once it's done I'll just then touch up the paint and job will be a good one. So I'll show you when I've got them all sorted. Right, a bit of a problem. I can't get any more grinding stones, so I've just got this to tidy up in this bit here, and I've got just enough left on this ball here and this little grinding stone. Where is it? There. Just to trim all this in, but at least I can see that I can achieve what I want to achieve. So I'm going to have to go on Mr. Amazon and see if they do a proper grinding wheel that will go in my drill, and that'll be a job then for next week to finish the others off. But at least I know I can get it sorted. And now you see the principle is that the water can run between these two levels, and when I do that here, get rid of this one here, at least with the boat pointing backwards and down in the water, if I tidy up the welds around this with a proper grinding wheel, then at least the water gets a chance of getting away. So yeah, not completely happy that I can't get it all done today. I'm just going to finish dressing this area here, and then I'm going to have a coffee, and that'll have to do. Cider of the week. Welcome Welcome to this week's Cider of the Week. What a week. Didn't get everything done that I wanted to. The welds on the drains on my engine cover area have proved to be a little bit more difficult than I thought. I tried doing it with my drill, and to be honest with you, at work I've got a proper angle grinder, and I've been everywhere today trying to get grinding stones on a peg that you can put into your drill. Nobody's got them. I've been to the B&Qs of this world, the Wicks, the local chandlery, the local DIY shop. Nobody's got a decent grinding stone. But the angle grinder I've got at work is a proper two-handed, mains operated grinder. So I'm going to dig out some of my grinding stones for that, and hopefully next week when I'm off I'll finish the job. But I've at least shown you that it's feasible and it can be done, and at least when they're all finished and they're all ground back, the welds are ground back, any water in them channels will be able to get away. I hope you found the costings on how to keep your boat warm of use. Like I said right all the way through, this is just how I do it. It's not saying this is how you should do it and that is the fuel that you should burn. Everybody's different, everybody has their own opinion. But I just wanted to address the questions we often get asked. Is A, is it cold on the boat? And B, is it expensive to keep it warm? And the answer to both of those is no, as you'll have seen in that part of the vlog. So that brings us to Cider of the Week. And this week, I've just realised it hasn't actually got a proper name as such. It just says English cider. Again, this was a grab it off the shelf in Aldi, and we're going to go for something completely different. It hasn't got a name on it. It just says specially selected. But it's actually, I'm going to show you, rhubarb and ginger. So, crikey knows what that's going to taste like. It's a 600ml bottle. It's 4% proof. And I think it was £1.68 if my memory serves me right. Now this, as I say, came from Aldi. I'm not promoting Aldi, it's just that I grabbed it while I was in there getting something for my tea. So like I say every week, let's crack it open. Let's see what it's like. As you can see, I don't really realise you're actually in my bedroom today. I thought we'd have a change. So this is my view every morning when I look out. You can see the boats, it's just lovely. And on a summer's evening I sometimes sit here and have a cider, so quite rightly I'm having one today. Oh, that smells rhubarb. Now that one does smell rhubarb. Can't smell the ginger, but it definitely smells rhubarb. So let's see what it tastes like. It looks okay. Nice colour. I like what I call red ciders. Plenty of bubbles in. Definitely can smell the rhubarb. Oh no! Oh, now I can taste the ginger. I was just about to say, I can taste the. Oh, I can taste the ginger. I was just about to say, I can taste the rhubarb, but I can't taste the ginger. But it's one of them drinks, when you first drink it, you get the predominant flavour, which is the rhubarb, and then the ginger kicks in afterwards. How would I describe that? Well, it's a light flavour. It's not too strong. It's got plenty of power in it, as in it strong, as in depth of flavour, but it's not a heavy flavour, if that makes sense. It's it goes all the way through the drink. When you swallow it, you can taste it, and it's nice. It is nice. I don't know where I'd class this. I don't think I'd have this with a meal. It's there's too much going on in the glass. And to be honest with you, it's I think this is a summer evening out having a barbecue, kind of socialising cider. It's not a, I don't think I'd want to sit and watch telly drinking it. It's not that kind of cider for me. I might edit that out. Crikey, the ginger's getting to me. So, it's a light flavoured cider. It's not heavy. It's a nice taste. If you be aware for the ginger. Crikey. Would I buy it again? No, I wouldn't buy it again. It's not for me. It's not my thing. I like flavoured ciders, but I don't like this one really. I'd be lying if I said I did. Where would I rank it? I'd give it a 6. If I'm being honest, it's a 6. It's okay. I've got a whole bottle to drink, so it'll take me all night to get through it when I'm doing my editing. But yeah, this one, Aldi, isn't really for me. But doesn't mean you shouldn't go and buy a bottle. So all that remains for me to say is, if you haven't subscribed, please do. It does help. It helps with it helps promote the channel and grow the channel, but it also helps with my personal well-being and my mental health. I see people subscribing, it encourages me to carry on doing what I'm doing. I've not yet ever considered stopping vlogging unless I run out of things to do and say, but it does help when you see that people are actually following and subscribing. Obviously give us a thumbs up if you've found some of this vlog or all of this vlog informative. Do give the pork chops in Coca-Cola a try. But can I just say, and again, no disrespect to Aldi, if you're going to do that, go to your butcher and buy some proper pork chops, the thick pork chops. You'll get more of a better finish with them than you do the thin Aldi ones. It really did need to be a proper, what I call a chunky chop, like you used to get back in the 60s and the 70s, but your butcher will be able to do them for you. Give it a try. If you can't, then do it with the Aldi ones, or what I call the supermarket ones. Don't be tempted to cook them for too long, and don't mess with them like with the steak when we did the steak. Just put them in the pan, let it do its business, turn it over, let it do its business, take the lid off, evaporate any liquor, give it a bit of colour on each side, and enjoy it. I'm sure you will. So until next week, from Misty and me, all that remains for me to say, if I don't choke myself to death, cheers.